Brett, good morning. Let's start with the latest in Nova Scotia.
Well, good morning, Heather. We are still seeing scenes like this with downed trees here in Halifax as well as across the region, and a number of key news notes to talk about today. So there's been a search called off for an 81-year-old man, Larry Smith. He lived in Lower Prospect, was reported missing by his family on Saturday around 3 p.m. That's kind of as the storm was easing off in that area of the coastline, about 35 minutes from Halifax. He was last seen and heard from family members on Friday before the storm. So in the interim, RCMP and other search and rescue crews have been combing the ground with ground search and rescue. There's been a helicopter in the air and a boat in the water as well. They have not found him, and now the police are asking anyone with information about Larry Smith's whereabouts or what may have happened to him to contact police. Now, we mentioned Glace Bay earlier. The military has been dispatched to that area to begin the cleanup of trees like this that are down, to begin the massive project of trying to clean up this huge mess. And speaking of cleaning up, the tree removal cost is one of the financial supports that the province announced yesterday. So there was a suite of various funding measures that the province has announced, including the simplest is $100 for every household that lost power for more than 48 hours. That's to try to account for lost food in the fridge, in their freezer. $1,000 as well for anyone who was forced from their home, who was ordered to leave their home. That's going to be administered by the Red Cross. So the province is giving an extra $500,000 rather to the Red Cross that they can distribute to folks there. So that money is obtained by registering with the Red Cross. There's also, as I mentioned, $250 to have trees and debris removed from your property, and up to $250. And an interesting fund, a $2 million fund that will be established now to help community centers to purchase generators, because community centers are one of the main areas of refuge that people sought when they needed to charge devices, just speak with someone, asking questions about what might be happening next, and just get some snacks, get some coffee perhaps. Some of those areas lost power. This fund will help them purchase generators for the next storm. Heather.
So, Brett, here we are in the fourth morning now after Fiona, and people were warned to be ready for 72 hours post-storm. We're now past that. And yesterday I was speaking with Mayor McDougall, whom you know, the Cape Breton Regional Municipality Mayor, and she was concerned about this time period, 72 hours plus. So what are the issues of this moment, really, and where do things stand when it comes to restoring the power?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I was out and about driving around about 2 hours from Halifax up on the Northumberland Strait, as we saw yesterday morning, and there were so many trees down. There were so many power lines down. There were kind of makeshift detours taking farm side roads around areas that were impassable. And this is far from the city centers like Halifax and elsewhere in the Maritimes. So it's going to be certainly a big task, certainly not close to having power on for many people. 141,000 customers for Nova Scotia Power are still without electricity. So that is a substantial part of the province. The peak was about 400,000 customers. That's of a total of around 500,000 customers. So we still have more than 1/5 of Nova Scotia Power customers in the dark this morning, waking up on this day 4 after the storm. Heather.
We'll be watching that and the numbers as they change this morning. Thank you, Brett Ruskin in Halifax.